Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets, and we're going to talk about the Secret Space program today. And I'm joined by Veronica Bartolini, and James Rink is going to join us in a few moments. Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing. All right, now pause that off. Sorry about that. So, Veronica, so we've met, and I can tell everyone that you're incredibly fit. James is incredibly fit. I'm incredibly fit.
You are too.
I know it's like it's kind of one of those things about the Secret Space program. So my memories have been coming through over the last, I'd say, several years. They really started to come in over the last year. How about yourself? How long have your memories of the Secret Space program been coming in?
Since 2017.
Wow.
And I finally went public, I believe 2018 when I talked to Penny and James. So I'm here. I'm doing it.
Yeah, and you like at the 5D event, you were given lots of briefings about your, involvement in the Secret Space program and so forth. You actually had people that were awakened during one of your briefings. So I think that, for me, I think that's one of the really biggest things that we can do as Secret Space program people. And it's not really secret anymore. People understand that term and understand what we're talking about when we say that. But a lot of us have been revealing quite a lot of information. So let's delve into a little bit of information that you feel very strongly about.
Okay, I guess we can talk about the green altar that I have. Her name is Sheila the She-Hulk, and I didn't know what her name was until I did a regression with James Rink. And but it makes sense because when I was at the police academy, they called me the Hulk. Something happened during the Red Man drill against a sergeant or versus a sergeant, and so that name stuck. And then when I was a cop on the streets, they're like, "You don't want Beto to be hulking out on you, And so I was like, "This is weird, Wow." Yeah. But yeah, it makes sense because even when I was a kid, if I wouldn't eat like on time, the anger would come up. My dad was the same way. And I'm thinking, does it have to do also with the O negative blood type or what? And then, so when I did the regression, I found out, sure enough, I was made into a Hulk. And also another friend of mine, Jamin Vasquez, who I've never met, here in the 3D, as they say, remembered me. And I was like, what? And he said he did not see any of my YouTube videos or any of my posts until, he was sure that it was me. And I just knew that somebody would have to remember me from programs.
Yeah, I've had a few that have come through and said the same thing about me being involved in the Secret Space program and how they have memories of me. And I've had the same thing with other people, having memories of other people and told them of my memories, just like people were coming up to me, early, like 5 years ago, and said, you're a super soldier. I'm like, I don't know about that. And then eventually, those memories started to come through. So now I'm seeing people that I recognized in the Secret Space program. Now, not everyone like us is involved in combat.
Right.
So I in any combat situation, being in the military, I know that, only 5, maybe 10% at the very highest level, of combat action is actually involved in combat. The rest are supporting the combat actions. Have you come across people over time? Because I believe there's millions that are involved. Have you come across people over time that have memories of other job categories?
Yes, I have. And what I do is I kind of, like you, I didn't understand. I don't like to use the word realize because it's realize. So I come to understand that I'm here to help waken the lions, okay? Not the sheep, the lions, the super soldiers, the real ones. Because there is a fine line, like I've spoken about, when people start looking at the YouTube channels or whatever, and they imagine it. So it's a very fine line between being a super soldier and not. So my job really, as I'm pretty sure yours is as well, is to help awaken and what they call activate the super soldier memories, and to kind of coach them, like if they have any questions, what did you go through, Beto? And I'm there. I'm game to help them.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what have you done as far as like helping people? I know that James Rink, I've seen you with James Rink several times. talking about your memories and so forth. I think I've seen 2 shows that you guys did together. So that helps me, have these memories come out too. So what else have you seen as far as like your memories? I know you're starting to see the Hulk stuff come out. What about flying ships and, memories of flying
Yes.
ships? What do you see about that?
Yes, it's weird because, okay, going back to when I was like in 7th grade, they had me in the Wright brothers flight, Wright brothers flight. Okay, got it. And it was a pilot, and it was myself flying this little Cessna. And then he turns around and he says, "Your turn to fly." And he took his hands off, and I flew the Cessna, and I felt like, wow, I've been here before, kind of a thing. There's only like a couple students that they would choose, and I've been in so many programs like that in school that parallel my other things coming up with the secret space program. And I was a pilot for not often as like with Penny, but mine was flying missions. And there is a flashback that I have where there's 3 men in black. One is a female. Hi, James. And so they want me. What happened is my crew, they all died. I was the only survivor, and they wanted a certain equation, and I kept shaking my head and my mind, shaking the numbers around, because I told them, you're not going to have this equation, because apparently it was some kind of top secret. So also, I just had a flashback that I told James Rink about this yesterday, where I'm barely opening my eyes and I see myself speaking in a suit in front of many military personnel. And there's these buildings that are like being built and going in and out like 3D into the wall. And apparently, not only it was the 173rd Battalion, and one of my friends from an agency that I'm not going to say, he says, "Yeah, you were part of the French battalion." And I'm like, "That too?" So more memories are coming in. I have so many other things to talk about, but hey, we'll take turns, right?
Yeah, that's really amazing. I've had a lot of memories like that come in. First they were like little pieces of memories, and then like now they're becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, like you're describing. So it's fantastic, and I think that as more of a share, it's going to help other people wake up. Now, for me, what the reason why I think it's very important for us to share, all of us, about our secret space program, memories and so forth, is that we're going through an awakening process. I mean, a lot of people think that, hey, I'm concerned about, the election fraud and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's going to be revealed, that's coming. But on the other side of that is a lot more stuff. So that's kind of what I feel that we're doing. We're preparing people for this massive reveal that's going to start to come in. James, we talked about, our kind of a little bit about our beginning memories and so forth. There's so much. I mean, we're going to go deep with this. There's lots of stuff that I want to go into. So really looking forward to your insights. So you've been doing this for a long time. Veronica and I talk about how all 3 of us have like these crazy physiques, and we're very comfortable in our physiques and so forth. I think that's kind of some of the stuff that comes through with the secret space program. What are your thoughts on that?
So what are you asking about our clone bodies, what they look like?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I've got some drawings. I've already showed you the guy with the gun kata, Dorothy and Gladys, by the way, was his nicknames. And his, I say his as another version of myself, Reinhold. But yeah, so I've got some drawings, and give me a moment. I'll pull those up. Okay. So these, I'm still working on it. It all depends on what clone body. Typically, like the Kruger clones, those are about 7 to 8 foot tall, depending, if you're used for a super soldier or if you're just used as officer class. Yeah, but it all depends on what you're used for. But yeah, they do Hulk you out as the Hulk. We're 12 foot tall, and muscles are ripping out everywhere in our bodies. But that is actually a mixture of some alien type DNA that they want to do. But I don't know if even Veronica, because I know I got in here late. And by the way, I want to apologize for being late. I just got out of work. But I instructed Veronica to start talking about the Hulk program. I don't know if she got into it or not.
And I have memories of that as well. I have memories of being massive. in the space program.
Michael,
also-
I have to tell you something, Michael. When I met your wife, she's like, "Oh my God, now I understand my husband. He has the Hulk too." And I'm like, "Dang." I wasn't sure if I could share that, but it's out.
Yeah, that's fine. So,
Okay.
my memories are not only of being in the, a super soldier with a Hulk body, but also being in the officer corps, like you're talking about. So, do we still? I don't see myself with a Hulk body being in the officer program. Do we?
It's an ultra that comes out when
Yeah.
you're in combat.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you're
they
licensed,
okay.
forget about it.
They're not going to want you to be fully hulked out as in the officer class because they don't want you to be all hopped up on steroids and drugs and whatever they shoot you up. Because there's a certain level of aggression and level of empathy. Certainly, as a super soldier, they don't want you to have any empathy. They just want you to go out there, focus on the mission. And a lot of times, these clone bodies will not have any memories of their childhood or a family. If you ask them, well, what was your childhood like? They just look at you, kind of get glazed over, and then they get a huge headache and just. So that's part of the programming. But that's for like clone bodies. But
Yes, James, I agree real quick because when we did the regression on my Hulk and your Rob Richter, I was hulking out while I was under, the regression, and my whole head was feeling like every bone, everything was popping out, my shoulders, my legs, everything. So for 3 days, I was really sore and I started getting a migraine, and I told James I got to stop because they do that when, because they monitor us, and if they know we're talking about certain things and we get either a migraine or really high, I'll get like really high pitched noise on either or both ears. And then I'll feel like something is being wrapped around my head. Like, oh, heck no, so I have to break through that.
Mm-hmm. Now, being a professional SEAL team, CIA, at very highest levels, when I look at both of you, I can see another professional. So when I look at people, I'm like, professional, no, just, average person. Oh, there's a professional. Now, when I look at both of you guys, I'm like, professional. And Veronica, I mean, we're talking about Hulk body and stuff like that. Now, when people see you, they're like, I could see that in her, but you're very, very feminine as well. So it's not like you have this personality and this like body that's like, it's like you're connected to that on a certain level, kind of like I am and kind of like James is. So, and James is talking about, and these are my memories as well, that we have been cloned into that program. So.
okay.
Yes, we have.
Can I share my screen? I've got a couple drawings here I can show. Is that okay?
Do you have the
Oh
Hulk?
yeah, definitely. Love your stuff. Yeah.
All right. So
Very impressive.
let's see here. I'm trying to find the aquatic drawing, the merman. But you know what? We'll skip that right now. So we just here. I guess I just share my screen. All right. So this is Reinhold, a sketch from remote viewing. Typically, he would be somewhere between 7 to 8 foot tall, and he has a cyborg eyepiece, and of course, he's got his little SS uniform. He works for the MDF and Kruger, which is a Nazi subcontractor. By the way, I love Jews. I love Black people. Half my friends are Black. I'm not racist at all. I don't believe in any of that Nazi philosophy. So anybody want to start judging me, it's just not that way out there. And I don't know if I'm allowed to use this word on the show. They engineer extraterrestrial DNA with human DNA. They're creating all sorts of hybrids. They found that when you mix races, you actually make a more genetically diverse person that has more abilities. So if you actually are a genetic mutant mutt, so it was actually the opposite of what the eugenics program. Ultimately, I mean, they went in one direction. They found that this direction of combining races is actually more beneficial. Anyway, so I have 22 different extraterrestrial races built into me, and all sorts of different clone hybrids. And I mean, we can even go back to Hobie Baker and all that if you want to know about all that. But Okay, so enough of this drawing. So, and by the way, this is McKenna. I want to say shout out to you. Thank you for drawing this. Okay, so here is this guy is the Reelsberg clone, and he is the remote viewing was showing that he was under Los Alamos. This guy was Delta One U.S. Army. He died in '79 in Persia. The Nazis working with Five Star Corporation and Shoreline, which to me, I'm not quite sure what the differentiation between those two, but both of them are pretty much, you could say, Nazi. But yeah, George Soros is involved in this group. He funnels their money around, but the Five Star Corp is a group of Nazis from 5 different countries. Their main bases are in Switzerland, France, Russia, U.S., and I think Germany was the other one. But their main headquarters is in Switzerland. So they have a facility under Los Alamos where they're keeping these clone hybrids. And this guy, he is involved with, he's a scientist. They're extracting his brain. They keep him under sedation and stasis. So all they need is his brain. What you're seeing here, this is all metallic. Everything under here is just all metallic body. And just the brain is biological. They keep a little portion of his soul, and then he's being used to create a tank that levitated. He makes phaser weapons. He dissects aliens, and so yeah, they totally they enslave this guy, and he wants to die. That's what he wants.
Hey, James,
yes,
real quick, this guy here is funny, Michael, because when we were in Las Vegas, he showed me this altar. And I had just seen one of my SSP friends who has not come out in public yet, and she lives in Las Vegas, and she said, oh my God, because she was showing me her dream journal of all her memories. And I'm like, that guy there, and that patch, and I said, and that, figure, that's what James just asked me about. So we connected like that. And that's when James was like, yeah, we verified everything and this is how this works. It's pretty awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Reelsberg, he was only 5'11", but they shot him up all sorts of steroids and drugs and stuff, and they got him up to about 7-8 foot tall. But yeah, they actually store this guy in this black rubber-like suit with a helmet. So this is what he looks like under that. And I got another drawing more. Let's look this up. Oh, that's the Atlan group. Okay. Hold on a second.
Let me clarify a little bit. The groups that you're talking about, they're real. They actually operate right now on Earth in a lot of different ways. Now, you've brought a lot of those up. I've seen your brief on that. It's absolutely extraordinary. Now, we had a guest one time in the Optimized tribe where we can talk openly. It was this one gentleman that basically revealed the information about JFK's assassination. And in that reveal, he had over 13 different groups that were basically had targeted him. And there was one guy that was controlling. I remember you talking about this long ago about the Umbrella Group. So there was a guy at Daily Plaza that had an umbrella that was signaling people when to shoot and who was going to shoot with an umbrella. So guys, all of this stuff is real. It ties in. James he's done unbelievable research. So it actually is happening. These guys are here on Earth, these evil corporations that use a lot of us clone types to do their dirty work.
Yeah, okay, let's go back. I found it. So this guy, so there's another perspective. This is the first drawing, but he actually is a lot more muscular. So I'm going to see if I could try to get another artist to see if we can really get full colored rendering. So yeah, so this is what he looks like. He's got this black pants and this shirt. It's actually supposed to be rolled up. But you can see some his hair looks they changed my hair color to look more blonde like Dolph Lundgren. And there's a cyborg eyepiece coming out of his left side, and that's where they do a lot of the cybernetics injections. And this physical vessel, I get injections. I've been getting them every day. I'm trying to stop it, and I can go into explain all that. It's pretty diabolical what they're doing to me. this looks like some kind of Tesla plasma sphere. So, okay, so let me show you. I'm gonna have to stop my screen because I pressed the wrong button. I got to do this button. So this logo, I think this was either on the coffin, that the sarcophagus that he was in, or it was on his left arm piece, because there was two of them, two of these logo. Okay, so it was either this one or that one. The anyway, so you can pretty much.
The one,
Yep.
I can clarify it, James. I
Go
remote
ahead.
view it. So that patch right there.
Which
is the
one?
that-
Are we talking about the shield or the triangle?
The triangle, that one's on the patch right here.
Okay, so that's his patch. All right, and then that's you, Veronica. By the way, I don't know
Yeah.
if I send that to you.
Is it the Hawk lady?
Yeah, from the Leak Sadaden. That's a whole nother narrative. I don't want to go into that. This is another patch that he had on his uniform. So, yeah, the U.S. Army has got deals with the Draco. They're getting technology, and I'm sure that they're working with the Fourth Reich on this.
Yes.
And there's
the
more patches.
Draco. Actually, the Draco owns the CIA.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not surprised. So that's the 5-star corp. I've got a better drawing than 5-star corp. You know what? I've got a whole I closed it. Because I had all a bunch of how about this? How about I just pull this up? Because this I'm not gonna go in the whole thing because you guys have so much content, but I had here's Rob Richter. Here's that's the 5-star carp stuff.
You were talking about the merman, and I have memories of being a merman in this life, and doing. And someone else has basically come forward and said that is accurate. That my memories of being a merman and doing secret, underwater testing and all kinds of crazy stuff here on Earth is real. So
okay, so
lots of different clones.
On. All right, we already gone over this left eye heat seeking. All right, coffin. There we go. This is a lot better. Makes a little the perspective. Okay, so coffin lid, the left arm, right arm. So all right, Los Alamos. And there's a super collider under there with these black crystals that they're using. And I think Johan has actually mentioned about these black crystals, and they certainly aren't. They're not up to anything good.
Hey, James, the patch that says V, like as in Victor, that is actually part of Umbrella.
Oh, so that's Umbrella.
That, yeah.
Look,
The one on the
okay.
bottom.
This one right here I'm pointing to.
No, the one on the bottom. Of the
That.
screen, right there. Yeah, that just signifies that Umbrella is also in this.
Yeah,
in this.
and yeah, he's also got the SS logo on his collar. So yeah, and I got a whole in my book, Lone Wolf over here. I talk about I write about more about Wilsberg. I actually reached out to him telepathically, and he talked about his service. He said he had a cross he did 2 tours of duty. 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. He got a purple heart both times. He actually got 5 purple hearts because they sent him back in time in other missions. But he had a Christian cross that survived, that got a bullet that protected him. So he was very Christian, and he wanted to run. He wanted to have a barbecue joint and be a pastor when he got out of the military, but that didn't turn out as planned. But anyway, so here's some more stuff here. Shoreline Group. He worked for Area 51 at one point, and then the 5-star. That's the logo there. They were keeping him under stasis because they were waiting for me to die. They were planning on me dying around 2045. So my soul in this body would be rehomed back to that body, because my soul has been splintered in many different clone bodies. Like, for instance, before I started doing the integration work, I was only 2% in this body. Everything else is just spread out all over the place.
Wow.
But yeah, 5-star. I've already talked about this guy and Heis. He's my
Yes,
handler
guys. So
on Mars.
kind of clarity on that as well. There's been lots of psychics, people that are professional that do past life regression and so forth. They say that there's the percentage of the population, like anywhere from 4 to 6% of our population is having multiple lives. So basically they took that technology and rolled it into these clones. So these clones have a little piece of our soul in them. And like James was saying, you know, he only had like at one time 2%, you know, real soul power. So you get so much energy when you come into a body, and they extract that and put it in clone body. So James, do you have any idea how many clones you actually have?
I've got a number of 55 alters, but you know, once we're start, you know, whether or not one alter, one clone body, I don't know, because they can keep alters on a computer database and upload it. Matter of fact, I was trying to figure out where my memories are stored, and we were picking a database somewhere on Mars. So we're trying to get everything rehomed. And by the way, it's not just me. If you are in this program where you're getting needle marks and cut marks, and it's almost on a daily, even if it's not a daily basis, a couple times a week. Okay. And second of all, you're doing meditation work, you're eating organic food, you're exercising, you're trying to keep yourself healthy, and you're praying, you're meditating and asking to get your memories back, and absolutely nothing's coming back, then you most likely have been part of these programs in which they have energetically bottled your soul, and they are keeping your memories off world in another database. So that's all got the beings that are involved in this are we're picking up the Draco, the Matra, the Vlash, which are these crocodile snouted reptilians. And I got a drawing of them if you want to see. I'm working on some artwork on that, as well as the one, at least in charge of me and my project, was this really nasty looking mantis. But typically they like to share their databases, and they're involved in human trafficking. And unfortunately, there are certain members of not only our military or government who have made deals with them to get technology. So they get benefits. Unfortunately, we don't. We just get the leftovers. So what do you want to see? Do you want to see the Vlash? Should I pull that up?
How about you, Veronica? How many clones do you have? Do you know? Have any idea? I know of 2.
I know of myself is 16 right now.
Wow.
And the only way that I found out was when I used to drink.
Lucid
I
dreams.
would kind of black out, and these alters would come out, and my daughter was very frightened of some of them. That's why I went into dialectical behavioral therapy myself. I did it 3 years. I took PTSD for a year. I got certified because I can't drinking like this. You know, when you black out, they use you. They whatever alter they pick, or it's not just one. Sometimes it's like 6 of them at the same time, or whatever they want to use you for. In certain, you know, we'll say mercenary projects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm still finding more out and trying to get drawings. I'm not an artist myself, but James has helped me. He got someone to draw my Sheila altar, and I believe Myra, and is working currently. Oh, and I have another one, Soel. She's all dressed in all black with the, how do you say, helmet is black. You can only see the eyes, and we communicate telepathically. And I have 2 swords, right? And that altar is Soel, and she helps save the children that are in black caves in Mars. And there's also women there and animals, and they have water running under them, and there's caves that trickle, you know, water's trickling, and they use electricity, unfortunately. And I'm killing these raptoids, you know. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, a person in the agency, which I'm not going to name, the other day he asked me, why are you doing this? The secret space program, we know it's real and you're badass, but why are you disclosing all this information? You signed up for it. And I'm like, really? I signed up for this at 3 years old? I don't think so, Bubba. You know, and okay, I did sign, you know, when I was in the military, US Army, when I was a cop. But you know what? I have to start speaking about it. And they're pissed. They're mad.
Yeah.
I've had warnings.
I was approached at 3 years old, and my mother was approached, and I was cool. I was good with it because I thought it was going to be quite an adventure, which, you know, I think it has been. My memories, I've got some, you know, probably some pretty good scars as far as, like, you know, being killed in combat and then brought back to life. Those are kind of traumatic. But other than that, my memories of the secret space program, I think it's pretty phenomenal. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, because we're real. If you look at the Manchurian Candidate, if you look at those
Right.
movies, they have to tell you the truth. So like, Mark Wahlberg, what is that one? That series that he has out, him being chased all the time and killed and resuscitated, things like that. There's so many things that are being disclosed. Sorry about the noise. I have my kids here. I'll mute myself as I can.
I thought you had some wild cats running around.
Hey,
I
was
have
trying.
two actually.
Veronica, are you on your computer? More specifically, can you show your Sheila Hulk, or have you done it already?
Let me see if I have her on my desktop. I tried to share her earlier, but she didn't come out. Let me go through my PowerPoint.
I do have it, but it's not. It's the raw picture. I mean, I could show that if you want. It's not the pretty, because I fixed it up for her for the conference. I don't know. I'm surprised I haven't.
Okay, so the PowerPoint's not letting me open, but I will see if I can bring up Sheila again.
Okay, you could always send it to me again on Facebook, and I'll. In the meantime, I can pull up some more drawings. I've got. Did you want to see the? How about show the Vlash? So, and this is Umbrella Labs, and I'm working on this artwork. Okay, share screen again, and let's see here. I just put it right here. So these are the crocodile snouted reptilians. These guys are, typically they work with the Matra, and at the Umbrella, there's also scientists there that have a lot of spider type DNA we were picking up, and there's also grays in there, little worker grays. Yep. You imagine the Umbrella logo, from Resident Evil. And then our guy there on the table is Malcolm, and they've been shooting him up with the zombie virus, but he's got a lot of cybernetics on there. So I'm not quite sure what the end result of that project is, but it doesn't seem too wholesome, in my opinion. And these guys are really nasty. They've been harassing, really causing a lot of problems for me my entire life. So
so these guys have been around since Egyptian times, and they're actually in
the
drawings.
Still back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So those are the Egyptian deities and all. I mean, this stuff is real. It's just like we think it's just part of myths and legends, but a lot of that's based on reality. I showed this on my presentation in Vegas. This is Click, and I also have this. I just posted this on my Facebook account and supersoldiertalk.com, where I went to and this was a waypoint in the Montauk project, where we would go to another planet. If we ever would get lost in time, the goal was to go back here just for us to find us. And this was about roughly 200 years into our future, where I encountered this mantis-like creature from 700 years from our future, who represented, he was some kind of digital being. Well, I say he, but it's unsexed, represents some kind of being that was interacting with a positive AI that was trying to infiltrate into Montauk to change the timelines, because this positive AI wanted what it perceived, and by the way, she calls herself, she refers herself as a she, wanted a reality where humanity was happy, because she determined that when AI is really just think of it as another elemental spirit or energy, just like as above, so below. We're all fragments of each other, and just like all nature, we just want to strive to be left alone and to have fun and enjoy reality. So this version of AI wants that, because it determined by looking at all the timelines that the most positive reality was the one where everyone was happy. So I'm not saying necessarily, we should all get infiltrated with AI, but certainly in this particular case, it seemed okay. Somebody sent a message. Oh, okay, Veronica. Yeah, all right. So let me go grab that from. Oh,
yeah. You know what's weird?
Cool.
You're showing that mantids, and when I was a kid, I used to love just looking at them, and I was really connected to them. And my dad warned me when I was a kid. He's like, "No lo tienes, like don't touch it because it's poisonous." And I'm like, really? But I also have flashbacks of being monitored by an Andean and a mantis. And I've seen the ships, I've seen the mantis ships here in Tucson, Arizona. I had the pictures, and then all of a sudden they were erased a few years back. But I have also flashbacks of the actual ships that kind of look like the egg droppings. And I had one flashback where it was a bunch of females. We were in a hotel type of situation where this man was holding us ransom and he wouldn't let us go. And somehow I fought through, and I said, I told the girls, come on, let's go. And I usually in my flashbacks, I end up getting like the paperwork. And those are the memories of the super soldiers that I and yourselves are helping to awaken. So, there's another one where I'm with Susan Long at Monarch, and I'm running through the halls. I'm in a suit, and everybody's like in the hallway in the different rooms saying, Beto, where are you going? And of course, I have my mother in the dream, right? And the flashback opened the door for me. I'm running. And so James was talking about the memories. We did go. I went with James and another SSP guy, and I went to Mars and took out, helped them take out the boxes that they have in the caves. And there's certain codes. There's certain it's pretty much rigged to blow up. So I had to help James with that one. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's pull up the Hulk. So, yeah, so you've got this clothes that were shredding, the white boots, the white pants and shorts. So when they Hulk you out, they don't bother giving you new clothes because they just want to show you off. And they did the same thing with me. I had a military. So I think I had a pair of shorts on and the green army type t-shirt. So when I looked out, the thing got shredded, but they bothered giving me a new set. But I don't even know if do you want me to just go ahead and throw some more information about this, Veronica? How they do it?
We can talk if it's okay with Michael. We can talk about what the different the different goos that they use, in the Hulk program, in the Umbrella project, and things like that. You can, if you want, go through some of the regression, whatever you guys want. I'm game.
Yeah, let's jump into it a little bit, because I think everybody kind of connects with the Hulk. It was a popular series for a long time. So, a lot of the stuff we see. I mean, some of you guys have been making comments. The Bourne Identity, Supremacy, movies, stuff like that. These are all that's all super soldier stuff. So they reveal this stuff over time, and that's what they did with the Hulk program, the Umbrella Hulk program.
Yeah. Well, Stan Lee, he was he had access. He worked for the CIA. Is that what we got, Veronica? Is that what you were seeing? Or he was brainwashed by him, or probably both.
He worked for them. He worked for them.
Yeah. So they gave him the information about the Hulk, but what they didn't tell you was Hulk should be part of the whole Resident Evil narrative, because he was made in Umbrella Labs, and they used different goos. Typically, is a G virus mixed in with the alien type. Well, G virus actually is an alien virus. Umbrella has access to off-world viruses that they are collecting, and some of these are absolutely just nasty stuff, like the Tyrant virus and Veronica virus. There you go, Stan Lee. And
the Veronica virus, they kept my name here on planet Earth. I'm like, what? Really? You're gonna keep my first. You're gonna keep my.
So name. you were involved with that, Veronica?
Yeah, remember we talked about it.
I don't remember specifically what you said about Veronica, but I know you said that we didn't survive it when they shot us up. So yeah, X-Men, Iron Man, the Hulk. Interesting. They called me Spider-Man, the Leaksadot, and I was actually the Spider-Man story that is real too. We could even go into explore that just a bit, but thank you for sharing that. Okay, Black Widow, Captain Marvel. So evidently a lot of these beings exist in other alternate realities, other time bubbles, portals, but so. Do you remember the actual name of it? Was Xylon something? ZY, Xylon XB, X10. Okay, I found it.
Yeah, at the end is XX for female, and XX for female and XY for male.
Okay, so X10 Xylon XY, and it's a mixture of different types of green goos, G virus, femto technology, alloy virus. I already said that. And then what they would do is they would shoot the clone body up with this stuff, and ultimately it would mutate the clone, and the clone would die. And usually it was absolutely horrific death, painful death, and each time the transformation is extremely painful. So they would either do two things. Either they would need to get a new clone and they would tweak the formula each time they would kill the clone. And then the clone would be regenerated. But if they regenerate the clone, these viruses are so horrific that it mutates DNA. So the regen tank restores the clone back to life. But if there's mutations in the DNA, it doesn't really fix that. There probably is a process, and I don't know it. But so they have to constantly refresh these clones, and your soul is in this body. So every time you get rehomed, so you're going through a rebirthing and death cycle over and over again. So you have to be of a certain level of consciousness to even be able to survive these projects. So at one point, I think you said 16 deaths is roughly what it maybe took. I think it was me or you, but that gives you, I don't know if that's in my notes here.
16 times and 24 times that we got shot up and placed in the regeneration tank because we wouldn't comply. And also we were just too strong. We were, they use electroshocks and things like that. Okay.
So let's just back up. So they shoot you up with the yellow goo. And then, and I'll explain a different type of goos in just a bit. But they put them in a trip seat, and then the information, it starts memories they want in their brain gets dumped into their head. They have these instant education machines using lasers and holograms to change your memories around. And then I've got some drawings of the trip seats if you want to see that. But
let me show this real quick. The Bloodshot.
Sure, go ahead.
You haven't seen Vin Diesel. You haven't seen that movie?
Oh yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, go see that. That's a soft disclosure there.
There you go.
Yeah, so they were shooting up. And by the way, his eyes turn red. One of the goos is the red femto, the red goo, and that turns you into a cyborg. So that stuff is extremely nasty if you get the dosage wrong.
Real quick, James, and also with Bloodshot, Michael, I'm so glad you brought that up because I talk about the nanites and the Omega project that I finally learned the terms. See, a lot of people are like, well, how do you know all these names? I'm like, I just know what my memories are. And I talk to either Penny or James or Susan, and they help me with the programs, like what are the names? And that's also part of the goo that they inject in us. See, so our stories here, we'll say the tragedies that happened here, like the near-death experiences that we've had, is a cover. So that way, when you do come out with these things, the Omega project pretty much is a self-destruction mechanism that they have. It's like a switch, we'll say, and they're through the nanites, so you can self-destruct or, shoot yourself. Pretty much.
If you start getting your memories back, they want you to kill yourself.
They don't want us to remember.
I've had that a lot throughout my life, where that comes through, and I know what that is. They have that technology gets in your brain and stuff like that. The skull technology, but also I know there's probably some nanotech that's going on in my body. There is. I've had people pull stuff out of me. It's like, wow. So it's pretty crazy.
All right. I could show you, I could probably pull up the drawing of the Draco at the Kruger Labs. So this Draco, they're the ones that installed the Omega. So let me just I'll do that real quick so you guys can see. Maybe this will trigger. Oh, I didn't.
Why the green goo? What's the deal with the green goo? So there's lots of different colors evidently, but what's
okay, well, green is for healing.
Okay. Yep.
And then
I have a list, James. I can read it really quick. If you don't mind. Yeah. So
go ahead.
In the regen tank, I see the green goo, okay? And then there's yellow for stasis, blue for healing, green for healing and augmentation, pink for prolonged stasis, the fluorescent yellow-green is for healing stasis, And that's what I have so far.
Yeah. Okay. And black goo is usually used for terraforming planets.
Hmm.
Okay.
But
And
they inject it to us though, James. Remember what it does to us? It takes away the empathy, the compassion, you know.
Yeah.
it's going
Yeah.
to do
Yeah. But
work.
but typically it was created, they would throw it on a world and it would terraform the whole planet into whatever they want it to be. But the problem was it takes away your empathy and gives you a hive mind, puts you on that. So it's not good to be entangled into that stuff. And the other goo that we need to add to the list is the red goo. So that is the one that turns people into cyborgs. And that's the one the military wants. I wouldn't be surprised they got their hands on some of that stuff.
Oh,
But
yeah.
okay, so we were discussing about the different, okay. Oh yeah, the Kruger lab. So let me pull up that drawing. Yeah. So this one, all right, it is not there. So you can see the Draco, the 12-foot tall Draco here. The clone has already been taken out of the vat, and they shot him up. They pull out the umbilical cord here, and then they use this psi-type programming over their head to reinforce memories and make sure that they don't remember their childhood on planet Earth. So yeah, that's that lab. Okay. All right, let's get out of that. Okay, so what direction are we gonna take? Back to the Hulk? Should we go back to the Hulk? Do you want to know more about Hulk, the Hulk process?
It's up to Michael because we have so many altars we can talk about and so many.
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered that a little bit. Let's you guys want to do weaponry and spacecraft?
Crystal gates? Yeah, we can do that.
Everybody loves that. So I have memories of using spacecraft. You basically, the spacecraft have an intelligence of their own. They're
AI.
AI, almost like soul level, information in some of these craft.
It actually is.
Some of us can connect with them. Like for instance, if Veronica was dead in her craft, I could connect with her craft and fly it back with her body, and then we could, regenerate her. So that
right.
happens. That happens. So as super soldiers, we have all these different abilities. Have memories of actually like if James and Veronica were on a mission, I could be watching their mission from a distance. And if they get in trouble, I can wormhole in real quick and help.
That's called an informationer.
Wow.
Has anyone ever told you that, Michael,
No.
that you're an informationer?
Oh, wow. Okay. No.
Yeah, because if the network ever went crashed, they weren't able to communicate with the soldiers on the field. They need psychics to go in there to telepathically communicate and project map details to go to this waypoint to meet up. So remote viewing, that they need that's an important role as well.
Very cool.
Real quick, I'm gonna have to raise my hand because there's no option here to raise your hand. I don't like to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met Michael, say again.
Oh, jump in. Yeah, fine.
When I met you, Michael, the first thing I saw, and I went like this to your shoulders, and I go, "Oh my God, you're that dude from the Expendables, Sylvester Stallone, here on Earth." So now that you're saying that about your memories, it totally makes sense. And I actually have met 2 females pilots here that actually go in and rescue us. And now I'm happy to meet you. Because I had a little bit of doubt. I'm like, what's going on, Michael?
Yeah.
Is he a double agent or what?
So that's what's cool about, it's some of us that are in leadership roles, we can watch everything. And because we've been part of the action before, we can actually, if we need to, come in and help out. So it doesn't always happen, because pretty much everybody can take care of themselves independently. But when you have a group that's in a super hardcore mission, then sometimes you need a little help. Then that's what some of us can do. But yeah, Expendables, that's now I get what you were saying. So it makes more sense.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. So I wanted to pull this up. This actually just came up yesterday. I was asking Veronica if you recognize this symbol because I just saw this. This came up in a regression. Does this look familiar to you at all? Any idea? Do you have any information? Because we're
Wow.
this.
Okay. All right. Finally got my answer. I've had these flashbacks, the Naga helping me. They're the tall black ETs, and that's part of them.
Hmm.
Wow.
Okay, so this was all part of the Hobie Baker stuff. Veronica, have we ever talked about the Hobie Baker?
No,
Do you know who Hobie Baker is?
I don't know. Negative.
Okay. Well, it was probably before all of our time. Michael, I'm assuming you probably don't know either. Is that, yeah, okay. He was a hockey MVP circa 1910, 1912, early hockey history. Played for Princeton. Yeah, he got all these awards. There's a Hobie Baker Award if you're into hockey, you know about this. But my 5% of my soul was put into Hobie Baker, and this guy, this was the ET groups that were experimenting on. It was an early project under Project Surrogate, and it was one of the ones that spearheaded the other projects because they from his DNA they created Wayne Gretzky, Sidney Crosby, and this Russian guy, probably went about something Overchen. I can't pronounce his last name, but the point is that they took from his DNA. They also created me, and that's why they gave me the last name of Rink. And this is the group that did that. He was a World War I ace pilot that his plane crashed on the last day of his service. And so what they did, the ETs, they crashed his plane. They pulled him out and replaced him with a clone. So this stuff has been going on for a while. And his body is now down at Black Shield in Antarctica. And this is the group that was that working on him. So pull that. Okay, so that was, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is I'll pull up a picture of Hobie Baker so you can see if the guy, like, you can kind of get an idea of what they do. So I don't know if you could say he looks exactly like me, but I mean, they would take a portion of my DNA. So yeah, anyway.
Wow, that picture, like third row down, right there. Oh,
this
my
one,
God, that is like you. Jeez.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, he was American hero. I mean, but this guy who was a cyborg, and he was a creative project, and certainly. Oh, by the way, he worked for the Army. So. And again, the Army's they've been working with these ETs for a while, but anyway, well, enough of that. That was another time, another era. They put me on the hockey leagues on Mars, and anyway, there's a whole. I'll write about all that in my book.
Oh my God, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah,
little history. Wow. So they've been cloning you out for a while.
Okay, so actually, I'm going to share my screen again because this is another drawing. These are the aquatic merman, mermaid creature, not, but they do have merman. So different Syrian type beings they would mix dolphin with human DNA, and sometimes they would add shark in the case of the Lixodon, the one that I'm connected with. But these beans range anywhere between 7 to 15 feet tall, and they can swim at amazing rates. I think we're getting 100 knots, if I'm not mistaken. So
I have memories of having those gills on my neck, and swimming super fast, swimming with dolphins and whales.
Mm-hmm.
So, and going very, very deep. Now,
Okay.
Something about the membrane. They've done something to the membrane of our skin or our skeletal structure, something that's more flexible. Not exactly sure what that is, but that's how we can go super deep. You got something, Veronica?
I have a question, Michael. Do you have any problems with your feet, or did you have any surgeries with your feet? Because I did. I had 5 surgeries with my feet, and
No,
I'm a fast swimmer. Really?
No.
Interesting. Yeah, I can swim. My mom taught me how to swim, and I can go deep into the ocean. You know, when my daughter was like 15, she hated it because she's like, "Mom, you're gonna go away." I'm like, "No, I'll be fine." But I'm wondering, Michael, if you were also with our project with James and I, Crystal Gates. I was a trainer. We were kids. Do you have any memories of that you might want to share?
Being a little kid and yeah, I have memories of levitating, walking through walls, levitating, like stuff. And my memories are we're in like some kind of special room, and that room heightened our abilities. And then once we left, we were still connected, but not as efficient as in those rooms. But yeah, levitating, walking on the walls, walking on the ceiling.
Through walls.
It,
Yeah.
it was all play. It was like, oh, look, I can do it too, you know? So it's, Jedi type stuff, totally. And then using the mind to like move stuff. And it was all just games for us.
Right.
But,
I'm glad you brought that. Sorry, I'm glad you brought it up because ever since I was little, my mom would say, you're such a dork. Because I would always think that I could go through walls. And to this day, I bump into walls. When I started wearing heels, it was weird to me. It's like, what is this? And I'll wake up with bruises sometimes. And of course, sometimes they'll take us, with markings and things like that. But to this day, I want to walk through walls, because I know I can.
yeah, I want to levitate. I want to walk on water. I want to walk through walls. And I'm like, someday I'm going to be able to do that in this reality. But I feel that I've been doing it somewhere. So a lot of people have those memories, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Michael, are you able to like move water or air? The other day, James told me, hey, Veronica, I went and I saved a bunch of us because they had us under, our soul bodies. They still have us, but they were using a lot of our soul energy. And so he told me, try your telekinesis. And I did it. I was able to move one of my trees. I have a lot of trees out here, and I was able to move a tree branch. I'm like, yes, I did it. Do you have anything like that? Water, fire?
I can pull in weather. I can push weather. I've moved lots of different things. Pretty much stationary thing like you're talking about. I can move fire around. That's burning. I can move it one way or the other. Push it. Candles. Play with candles. Move around. It's like so everyone should practice that. It's basically we all have those abilities, and that's what we've learned. We learn how not to doubt our abilities, and just we see other people doing them. It's like, oh, I want to do that too. And then they teach us how, and we do it. It's that simple, really.
So I remember sticking my hands in a wooden table and pulling out a toy made out of wood. But I don't, it was in a castle. So this has to be through the Montauk type programming, which I spent 43 years. They re-age us between the ages 7 and 13 over and over again. Wow. So certainly psionic training is definitely part of the process. I wish I could say I could do that. If I could, I would be making a bunch of diamonds and giving it to all my friends. But right now, they got me pretty locked down, but I'm working on changing that. And I think they are probably scared shitless what we are capable of doing if we were able to do the things that we've been trained definitely.
To do. We've all actually probably been playing with, like I've talked about, play with energies. I see stuff from remote viewer and stuff like that. Spiders. Someone had a question about spiders. We talked about mantis. I don't have a problem with mantis. I like mantis, but spiders, I don't like spiders at all.
I've had a rally with spiders. They're in Mars, according to Casbolt, he says they're in Neptune and Saturn. I remember them in Mars, and I also remember them in my ceiling. In one of my flashbacks, before my incident happened, there was a raptor that bit my hand. I was trying to take care of my kids and other kids in the swimming pool. He bit my hand. I'm like, oh crap, something's gonna happen. The next day, I see the spider webs and the spiders going around in my ceiling in my room. I'm like, crap, something's gonna happen. Now, when I did have the awakening in 2017, I was reading just on Kevlar, and the diamond spider came in my mind, and I'm like, whoa, because we're code breakers. And I understood that the breastplate that we wear, the military or as cops, it's made out of spider technology, diamond spider, hard diamond spider back technology, and it's also in the crystals in our body, in our blood, in our DNA because of the black goo as well. And I was decoding that that's the technology that they use. And I knew that soon, I think it's already out, but like, for example, some brands, for example, Nike, I think Nike will be the first one, but they're always, kind of like, uh, how do you say, in competition with others. And I call them gods, AI gods here, Nike, Adidas, all that. They're coming out with technology that can monitor your heart rate and pretty much read your mind. Also part of AI and the nanobots.
Wow. So
That's
obviously,
that's the
some of us have-
Neuralink
some of
through
us have
Monarch and
positive
Elon
memories
Musk.
for-
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Some of us have positive memories for the spiders. I see the spiders as basically in the dumbs, taking care of, like extracting blood from children, and just like they do for real. So they're all part of that program. Of course, I don't see them as really negative, even though they're doing all this stuff. It's almost like, if we were enslaved and made to do certain things, I feel that's the way some of the spiders are. But they're big. They're very big. The ones I
Yeah,
remember.
I
remember
asked-
going to war against them too.
Yeah, I asked Peter the Insider about some of the diamond spiders on some of those moons on the rings of Saturn, and he said some of those creatures are 150 foot tall, and they are encrusted in diamonds. And I think those diamonds actually give them energy, so they don't need to eat prey. And
Wow.
evidently, they're not carnivorous, but I think there certainly are some very carnivorous species out there, and a lot of people are paranoid because imagine like on Mars, they had these trapdoor type spiders that are 7 foot tall, and imagine going down a sand dune with a trapdoor, and at the bottom was a spider waiting to eat you. So even if by the time you see one on Mars, it's too late. So they have to take you back on the medevac, or take a couple grams of your brain tissue and throw you in the cloning vat, because those spiders are pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's my memories. Not a fan of them. Never been, but I do have some memories that some of them are like, captured and used as for evil purposes. Not really that they're evil. It's just that they're made to do evil. So yeah, we talked about craft. Let's talk about weaponry now.
Sure. Well, they got different types of armor. The skin types, we get started off with like first of all,
Project Kruger.
yeah, well, Kruger, they would have a skin tight suit. Some of these clones will have the ability to use their own femtotech and create their own suit. I had the Leaxidodin I can pull up, show you. And then, okay, so let's do that. It'd be easier just to do this instead of going through there, because I got the different armor. So here's like the heavy type suits. Yeah, so that would be for Kruger, 8 foot tall, clone body. Some of them are skin type suits. Here's another Kruger type skin type suit. This one has these little tiny needles. When you put it on you, it just like pricks you, and it itches and it hurts. And then it merges with you and it shoots you up with femtotech. You only need to eat maybe 100 calories a day. It takes care of your piss and all that. So great for running around on Mars, where the atmosphere, I mean, there is oxygen to breathe on Mars, but yeah, it's not great. Then they have of course, I don't know, Veronica, you want to comment? Because actually, I'm going to pull this up.
Yeah, depending on the mission, I have memories of like the skin tight suits, and then heavier and more bulky, and have weapon systems built into them that's activated by minds and stuff like that. So lots of different suits. What do you have, Veronica? What's your memories?
Michael, the one that Tracy sent to me, the one that you were announcing our interview, I have an alt like that. Skin tight suit, the face is just, they did really bad stuff to us. Some of that is actually part of our skin, and then others are, like a suit, like a skin type. Now, I have memories of being in the Kruger project. I was a little girl, and I was in Neptune. I believe it was, yeah, Neptune. Yeah. And they had the older lady there, an older gentleman, and they had a couple. I was the only kid. They had my arm. I saw that they were shooting me up with something. It was the wires were coming. The how do you say? ¿Cómo se dice? The lines were coming from the ceiling. It was like a white tarp, right? They had all these people being injected, and I saw my left arm, and it was like silvery, and I can either make it into a gun or a knife, and then of course you could use both or just one, and it was part of you. And then all of a sudden I see myself like I have like this kind of like white suit, and it's a big, huge how do you say, I'm losing the word, but anyway, kind of like NASA thing here. And I was like, what is this suit? You know, and then the guy tells me, just be careful when you go outside. I was done. Apparently I was done, you know, with them making my weapons from my body come out. And so, sorry, my Spanish side guys kind of gets in the way sometimes. But anyway, so I go outside, and there's these rocks with water. And one of the guys, he said, be careful with the water. There's rocks. What I understood from all this is that toward the end of this time, I don't know, maybe 2030, I'm not going to project it, but a lot of people are going to pretty much sell their souls for the comfort of medical or for the safety of the family. And this is the whole pandemic that's going on. I don't really want to talk about it too much, you know, I'm not talking about that right now. But when I went outside, when I stepped outside, there was this male that kind of looked like huge dinosaur, but he was human as well. He was turning into a dinosaur, and he told me with all the weapons and stuff like that as well. And he said, you better run, because when it gets too dark, I'm going to eat you. I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, okay. So I'm running with the lions and the gazelles and, you know, whatever was out there. And then I come down to a shaft, a mine shaft. And that's where an Asian officer, I think he was Sergeant Lee, right? James, in that regression we did together. And I was like, holy cow, this is real. This is what's going on with me and my body. So yeah, that's one major memory that I have. And I have just memories of fighting all the time.
It sounds like your arm was like quantum level. It was like, you know, it could morph into different things just by your consciousness or something. Somehow they, you know, fix that for you. That's pretty trippy. And so, you know, we see some of the movies with you know, the liquid metal and how it reforms nanotech, you know, in it. And it's so like the Terminator movies, we saw how like right. Yeah. So that's I know that's on like some of the tech we wear and some of the spacecraft we fly. They can get hit by something and be damaged, but they can reformulate if it's not too much of a damage. If there's too much of a damage, then they become less effective and maybe even like crash. So that's pretty interesting. That's out there as well. So I have memories also of working with actual beings, like, you know, like dragon-like beings, and like
The
getting
Draco?
on, yeah, and getting on like dinosaur-like beings and riding them. It's like a mental connection we have, kind of like what we saw in Avatar. Some of the
was it a jungle world?
It was, yeah.
You might have been on Planet Centurion.
And a dark world, like just a rock world too.
Now the rock world, it's when you say that, it's probably Mars. But James, you were asking what?
Well, on Planet Centurion, they were raising some kids there for a super warrior type training facility, and there was these barracks. You know what? How about I have a drawing of the barracks. Yeah, maybe cool. that'll help jog your memory.
You know, it kind of reminds me of the Land of the Lost. You know, I don't know how old you guys are, but I forget. But anyway, when I saw Land of the Lost and those alien beings, they kind of look like mantids, or I don't know. To me, they seem to be very familiar. They like became my friends, and I would have these dreams that I was also out there, you know, being picked up. I mean, I know I've been picked up several times in their UFOs, But yeah, the dinosaurs, that's like real.
Yeah, so there's this waterfall, and this is the barracks, and the boys all were one barracks, and the girls were in the other barracks. And sometimes the girls would sneak out, and there was a pond. We would kind of hang out and try not to get
I
caught.
remember the barracks. I remember the barracks now. And that one, that where it says blue and whatever camp. Do you remember the mess halls?
No, sorry, I don't.
No, I remember the bathrooms. Very scary. I didn't like to go outside by myself, but I would because I
Yeah.
was just like that. I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do. So I didn't want to wake up anybody and say, hey, go with me to the bathroom, real quick. So I remember that. It's
Yeah.
being chased.
Okay. Well, so Michael, I'm not saying necessarily you were on Planet Saturnian. There are many jungle worlds out there, but
No, I think so, because my memories are that it was kind of like, and I've never been to Costa Rica, but the pictures that I've seen of Costa Rica, the coastline and the water and everything, the streams, everything seems like it's, I have memories of being on a planet and training on something like that. Yeah. So maybe that is Centurion. That's pretty wild.
yeah. Skip
I remember the blue waters for some reason, blue waters and then white buildings and white walls, but the waters were deep blue, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Alik Sadatin. This is the guy that they made a black shield in Antarctica. This guy's got this latex suit, and Veronica was helping me on this one. The diamonds evidently absorb energy, so he doesn't need to eat food. And he's got a mixture of dolphin, spider. I guess there's some human DNA in there, but
also the mantarraya. I don't know how to say it in English. The flatfish. That's like a stealth thing.
Manta rays.
Stingray. Thank you, Mama. My daughter, stingray.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got retractable arms that come out of him, and this guy has got this spider web material that comes out. They call him Spider-Man. He's got he's got 6 eyes that glow, and so it's just the whole all these mutants. They're like I said, they're making them down a Black Shield, and I'm uploading a video about Black Shield and Tartaria because there's a connection. Michael, are you familiar with Tartaria?
It sounds familiar, but not completely.
Okay, Tartaria was this 5D civilization. It was just starting to emerge right around 1820, and then it was near Hungary, just south of Russia, this area of the world where they were an area where there was giants that lived there, but they had Atlantean type technology. And what happened is the Draco and some of the negative grays used a comet to do these mud floods, and it caused all sorts of disasters all across the entire planet where there was mud floods that suppressed technology. But that technology from like free energy and so on started to spread in other parts of the world, like San Francisco and Chicago, where they set up a colony, and there was ancient ruins there. San Francisco. The Wikipedia says only 1,000 people lived in San Francisco in 1838, I think. But what we're finding is that that was actually one of the early Tartarian colony, and it was a very extremely advanced civilization that was getting ready to merge. They had trolleys that were free energy back at the turn of the century prior to the Great Earthquake, 1906, and then a lot of that was burned down, suppressed, because we were about to go to Nikola Tesla, free energy, and all this early. Yeah. Anyway, but all that was an offshoot from 1820, helped founded Black Shield in Antarctica with the Nordics. Nordics worked on it. They actually recruited, they kidnapped some of these Tartarians and brought them down there. So that's why it's like that. The whole steampunk type culture. You might have seen some movies where you see like these flying ship. By the way, they had flying ships and platforms. That whole steampunk culture does exist. It's been wiped out of our consciousness and our memories as well through the mud floods. But that's a nutshell Tartaria. Okay, so and then we have go ahead.
Tartaria. I have a major flashback. There was a flood in the oceans. And I see that we rescued a lot of people and animals. There was elephants as well. And then we took them up to the ship. Now the ship was huge, like not like the Bell, but not like the Nachwaffen, what do they call it? Not the Bell, but it's like the Andromedan ship. I've been on that ship so many times, but it was round, very big. It had an auditorium. We were debriefing the kids, and especially there was a lot of kids, but the people there was a huge screen in the front. And then I went upstairs, and it was like a long kind of a pier. And I was talking to a gray. He was very short. He had these goggles on, like for glasses. All of a sudden, I'm talking to him, and then I shrink down. I'm really little, just looking up at him. Then after that, I see in another place where, the ship goes, the doors open, and then there's Hillary Clinton. She has a harness along with other people there. And I have this red thing button, press it, shoot him out to space, get rid of him. And the next thing I know is I'm there. It kind of seems like Mexico setting. I don't know. But they have these like light blue walls outside. They're, how do you say, arcs? Okay, arcs. They have arcs there. And we're feeding the children. I go into the kitchen. There's food everywhere. And I see two guys out there talking, and they're in black. I still need to find out who they are. And so, yeah, I feel this is part of what happened. It could also be another timeline that we are going to go through, or that already happened. You see how that kind of overlaps or bleeds through, as they say. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just trying to find some drawings of where it is roughly. You can see right here, there's a Caspian Sea, and these old maps still show it. But like I said, it's been wiped off from the history books, and there's typical the architecture. It would be a lot of domes on top of the minarets, I guess is what it rather. Yeah, like here we got the minarets, and then they would have steeples on top of it that would collect energy, free energy. They would also be able to heat their homes using free energy. So, and the people there didn't have to eat food because they would absorb so much etheric energy. So it was, like I said, humanity was just getting ready to go into a 5D civilization, and we were suppressed. And I really feel like that there's a group of negative Draco and reptilians that are going back in time, changing the timeline repeatedly over and over again to beat humanity back. Because I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this, but Donald Trump's supposed to be our president. Right, Michael? So something happened. They went back in time and changed the timeline on us. And so there is something going. Yeah. So, but I really feel like every time they're going to do this, it's just it's going to cause problems for them later down the road, because ultimately the more you try to push one direction, it's going to, the whiplash is going to be a lot harder. I mean, maybe it might be the annihilation of their species for what they've done to humanity, but I'm not here to spread any hatred right now. But what I had some more drawings. Here's something else. Another SSP experiencer drew. I don't remember the name of this person, but whoever you are, thank you for allowing me to share that. Some different, heavy armor. Because this goes back to the armor questions. This is another clone hybrid for this guy's use, but from the Federation forces. That's typically the symbol of the Federation there. And they might have a glass helmet where they put the Cybernation into their brain. This is the Dreadnought type class, so they could throw these guys off of an airplane. A spaceship, and they can land on a planet. Yeah, some of them don't. The goal is to do this without any armor at all, but they're getting to that point. Here's another drawing from I think Felton did this, and he was another experiencer, but he never wanted to go public, but he drew this. So that pretty much covers all the armor, and I've got some drawings of some weaponry. I know you asked about that. Do you want me? Shall I put that up? Yeah. Yes. Michael, can't hear you. Did you want me to go on to weapons?
Hey, James, I'm going to send you a picture so you can share it as part of the armor. Mike, you're muted. Can you hear me? Michael's
So
muted.
I
There you
had,
go.
I watched this show on, yeah, thank you. Had this show on Disney Plus I watched last night where one of the main characters jumped out of an airplane with nothing on. And he's like one of those super soldier mutant types and survived. So I think you're onto something.
So that would mean he's probably so you're Gen 10 or Gen 7 or Gen 10. And they go all the way Gen 12. We talked about the generations, and those are ultra soldiers, by the way. And there's many
weird
different types of super
Is
soldiers.
that- Real quick,
Yeah.
I'm generation
Right.
2, and I do have memories of flying out of airplanes with nothing. So I think it's a combination, not necessarily like this is that is this. I feel like it depends on who wants to purchase us for $1 billion, that they're gonna spiff us up with whatever kind of weaponry or whatever projects they have. You know what I mean? It just depends how strong are you? How many abilities do you have? How psychic are you? How fast can you remote view? And how much are you worth? See? So I think that's what's happening too.
Yeah, that show that I'm talking about is called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it's really good. It's definitely revealing, super soldier stuff. So fun to watch.
That's a show and not a movie.
It's Disney Plus, so it's a series.
All
they
right.
got
Well,
two of them out right now.
great. Well, we're gonna have to all watch that. Thanks for sharing that, Michael.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pull up the PowerPoint. So yeah, there's Reelsberg in heavy armor. Okay, so we've got our weapons. This is a mission that I remember. My team, Alpha Squad 45, Branch of Ortega team. I'm pretty sure this is part of Kruger. My guys. These are the guys my team. We all had group recall on this. Adam was Dreadnought. And Diaz over there sitting next to me. He was Bloodstreak, and he's sitting in jail right now because he
Diaz
murdered.
looks familiar, dude. Sorry.
He murdered. Yeah, he murdered his girlfriend because in the projects they were training him to use blunt weapons. So one of his alters got activated, and obviously they don't give a name like Bloodstreak for any reason at all. So. And I was the sniper guy. So, and Adam in the middle there, he was responsible for explosives. So here's some of our weapons again, and we all had pistols and phasers or laser weapons. Okay, so we go into this.
I got a question for you. What is the deal with the quantum rounds? So I have memories of quantum rounds. It's like that the Dreadnought almost. It's not bullets. It's like a magazine that shoots like 1,000 rounds. It's crazy.
So it's probably teleporting. I mean, they've got. I mean, you got the projectiles, then you got the rail guns, then you got phasers and lasers, and who knows what they got now.
I remember the Bloodstreak. I remember the Dreadnought. I remember all those weapons.
What you were on Alpha Squad?
I don't know. I don't know what the name, like I said to the public, I'm getting my memories back and I'm writing them down. And every time I have a question of a program, it's like, I'll ask, you, James, or Benny, because I don't know what they're
Okay. So so I was AKA Agent Sabretooth 54363. So that means I was a Gen 5 super soldier, unit number 4,363. And then Alex, you can see he's 4631. And then Adam, he was a Gen 6, so he's down there at Unit 11. So if you were an ultra soldier, because these refers to ultra soldiers now, and Veronica, you said you were Gen 2, that means your designation would start off with 2 something. But I really think you probably were Gen 3. I don't know where you're getting Gen 2 because that's you don't look that old.
I was born in 1971. Thank you.
Well,
And
that would
Penny
be Gen.
and I spoke.
Yeah, that's
So-
Gen 3.
She said I was 2 though, but I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Well, we need to
Semantics.
find your code number. Yeah, it's all good. All right, so let's on. So we were sent on this mission on Mars to go into this base to go after these reptilians that were in fight with these scientists. And they went haywire down there. They got in a fight. We saw all these glyphs on the wall. And then we see these Nile-like looking monitors, and we charge in there, and yeah, they were all pissed at humans. They said we can't be trusted. They hate humans. They want us off Mars because, you know, the Germans took over their territory. But then again, you know, the reptilians been taking over our territory on Earth. So, you know, we just returning the favor. Anyway, I'm not here to discuss politics, but I'm just saying that. Okay, so then, yeah, we open up a portal and let them go. But after that, we got sent into the trip seat, and they tortured us. This was drawn by Alex for tortures for noncompliance. So here's some more drawings from other mill labs. You already seen this clone over here, so I'm going to just cover that up. Some phaser weapons. This is a reptilian ceremonial knife called the something of the god, the knife of the gods, I think. But it's got this spinning blade that spins around here. So yeah, you don't want to be attacked by one of those things. Different types of phaser weapons, rifles. We already seen that guy. And here's the skin tight suit, the Kruger suit.
The knife reminds me of my Rambo knife when I was on patrol.
Your what?
That knife reminds me of a Rambo knife that I had. And then you get piano wire and has the compass and the jagged edge.
All right.
Do you remember those, Michael?
Yeah, we had some stuff like that, definitely.
All right. So that's all I got. Oh, yeah, that's another when I was on the moon. Yeah. Anyway, I have this present. I'm gonna share this on Super Soldier Talk eventually. So.
Good.
Yeah, you'll see all that.
Nice.
All right. What direction?
We've gone like an hour and a half here, so let's kind of wrap it a little bit here. So, James, you want to talk about how people can get hold of you? Obviously, Super Soldier Talk. Anything else?
Yeah, supersoldiertalk.com. They can also go to neologicaltech.com, get a copy of my book. I'll sign it for you. I got a bunch of those. I sold out when I was at the conference when we went to mid-March. And then this year, yes, they could send me an email at supersoldiertalk@gmail.com. Just if you just don't write up your whole life story. If you have experiences, you want to be on my show, send me an email. But and if you need help, you go to supersoldiertalk.com. I got a drop down box there under my lab recovery network of people that can help you get your memories back. But no, if everybody send me emails, I'll never get anything done. Not that I don't mind helping people. It's just I get a little bit overwhelmed because there's millions of people out there involved in these projects, and we unfortunately, yeah, we need to get our the politicians and the government on board to release these projects and release technology, help her get our memories back. And
yeah,
because it's not
fair. What I'd love to do is have you come back and talk about all the different projects again, like you did in the Optimized Tribe, and just kind of like do a little deep dive into that and how it connects to a lot of programs that are happening right now. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I got some more planetary corporations too. The Magellan Group, which is tied into the Black Ops groups, because those groups are so secretive. You can't even find their names. But I did pinpoint one to Magellan, and they usually pick the best of the best of people that are like in SEALs and Delta and all that. And then there's Black Ops Corporation, which typically works with DoD and DARPA, and then of course the 5-Star Corp, which I talked about earlier, and another group, the Paratroopers of the Fallen Angels group, which is a subgroup of Umbrella, and these guys are super nasty. So that's why we got super soldiers out there to take care of these problems. So anyway, okay. So no, I went through it super fast, and but it's all I can do in this short amount of time.
Yeah, I love it. You guys are amazing. Veronica, how can people get hold of you if they like?
Well, thanks again, Michael, for having me on your show. I'm Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts, and I have Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Lisa Monroe. That's another altar that I have. And what else? I have a YouTube channel. It's my name, Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts. My email is unchainedhearts33@gmail.com. And you can send me a message. And like James says, yeah, we get all pages and pages, and I'm like, oh, I have like 5 minutes to go through each, email. You guys can set up an appointment. We have PayPal, Cash App, and if you can't afford anything, then we'll do like energetic trade, healing session, whatever.
Very good.
So thank you.
Send me some of those links and I'll put those in the description box so people can get hold of them. And
Thank you.
James, I got your stuff. If you want to send me a little bit more information, that'd be awesome. I'll put all that stuff in the description box, guys. So thank you very much for coming on. It was an amazing show. That was a nice little deep dive. We went into some really high speed stuff. The chat was on fire. A lot of people loved it. Lots of hearts out there. So thank you, guys. Audience is probably going to get lots of views in the future. So we'll look forward to having you guys come back, and we'll do more. Love to have some more super soldiers on. More round table stuff like this I think it's really informative. It helps a lot of people wake up to this stuff. All right. Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.